What is going on, everybody? Mr. Bropo from Mr. Bropo's Toy Chest here, bringing you a new type of video. I previously mentioned I was going to post some new content, a different type of video, and these videos are Dragon Ball related videos. I'm going to be covering topics throughout the week, news-wise in the Dragon Ball community, and then reviewing the latest episode of Dragon Ball Super. So let's get started. The first thing I wanted to mention is a little bit older, but it is slightly recent, and I feel like it hasn't been touched on very much by very many people, and I wanted to throw in my 2 cents on it, and that is a brand new USA toy line for Dragon Ball Super. Now, if you're not familiar with them, there is a Japanese toy company. They go by SH Figuarts, and they make a bunch of different types of figures, but they are Japanese imported and they are a little bit pricey. Which is fair enough because they are some really high quality figures. But now, with Bandai and Tamashii teaming up, they will be producing a new USA toy line. Now, this toy line is going to be multi-branched. It has multiple different types of toys. It has some life-sized role-playing toys, some minifigures, some 7-inch deluxe figures. But the main focus that I wanted to touch on is the 6.5-inch action figure toy line. These figures, they are highly detailed. They're 6.5 inches, like I previously mentioned. They are going to be pulling characters from Dragon Ball's rich history. And when I say Dragon Ball's rich history, I'm quoting this from the official press conference released by Bandai. It has all the info, so if you want to read a little bit more information, I'll leave a link in the description below. And they said that's what they said, Dragon Ball's rich history, and referring to characters that they'll be bringing in. The first wave is gonna include Base Form Vegeta, Super Saiyan Goku, and Lord Beerus. And the second wave is gonna have Base Form Goku, Super Saiyan Vegeta, and Final Form Frieza. And all of these figures will include a collectible piece. And it will be a build a figure sort of thing. So you collect them all and you build a figure. And the first figure, I don't know if this is going to keep switching, kind of like Marvel Legends. The first one's going to be the Eternal Dragon Shenron. So I'm definitely looking forward to this. I hope you guys are too. If you want to watch a different video on the subject and have a little bit more insight on it, I would definitely recommend Geekdom 101's video. I'll also leave a link in the description for that video. And now to move on. The release of Xenoverse 2, Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2, was released in the US on October 25th, 2016, and the buzz around the community has been insane. It's a great game, I must say, from a personal standpoint. I bought it, I got the day one edition. Tons of people are commenting on this. It's a huge deal in the community right now. It's definitely worth checking out some videos for. If you don't know, Dragon Ball Xenoverse came out a couple years back, and a lot of people liked the game. Some people had lots of gripes, and that's understandable. But the main thing was the two main standout points were two things. One, the multiple options you had to create a character, and you could create multiple characters, and the fact that instead of just playing through a digitally animated through video game graphics, playing through the Dragon Ball Z history from the Saiyan saga to the Buu saga, this time the timeline is distorted in Xenoverse 1, and now it's 2. That's the main story. You're bringing in more characters to mess up the timeline. They had uh, many characters last time, but they're bringing in even more. some movie characters, some from the original movies that came out a few years, well, not a few years, but quite a few years back, I must say. Cooler, Frieza's older brother's in the game. Lord Slug is in the game. Turles is in the game as well. Some of these characters were not. All of these characters that I'm mentioning right now were not in Xenoverse One, so I definitely recommend checking out the game if you can. It's great. So that Tamashii Nations held a uh, excuse me, it actually ended today. They held an event and they showcased a bunch of new figures. Now, Tamashii Nations, they're the ones that make the SH Figure Arts figures and all that stuff. So they made tons of new things, but related to Dragon Ball, they did make some new SH Figure Arts, some very highly requested, honestly. So the first thing I want to go over quickly is they are I don't know when. These are all prototypes, kind of. They're pretty much all painted, the ones that I saw, the new ones. So the first thing is they are going to add light up effects. So they had aura effects. When a character in Dragon Ball Z is powering up, there's this blast of light behind them and around them, electricity, or just yellow or corresponding colors just flashing around them, and that's called an aura. And now they're going to have light up aura effects. They're going to have light up Kamehameha effects, key blast effects, all types of stuff, and it's very exciting. The next thing, we get two Gokus. One of them is Kaioken Goku. Looks pretty good. Basically, looks like the rehashed, repainted version of the old Goku SH figure arts that we got, and then the other Goku is a remade version of Super Saiyan 3 Goku, and I know that's gonna excite a lot of people because they're using the new joints for the knees, and it's using a completely different color scheme. The original one that came out years back was kind of weird looking. It had like mustard colors for his orange face. It was weird. But aside from that, there's that, and then the two new characters that are going to be joining the line is Super Saiyan. Well, I don't know if it'll come with base form head, but from what we saw Super Saiyan Gotenks, and he did have a couple of Super Ghosts. Um, it was very cool seeing them. He looks great. Just tremendous sculpt work and paint work. And then this is my personal favorite. They are finally releasing a Nappa, hopefully. Hopefully it's not just them showing off prototypes, but they did show off a new Nappa. This is not the Nappa we saw back in 2012. This is a brand new sculpt. He has his armor on and he looks great. And he's also beside the redone version of the Scouter Vegeta. So that's very exciting. Hopefully you guys are excited about that too. Very cool. So now let's get on with the last portion of the video, and that is some discussion on the newest episode of Dragon Ball Super. If you're not caught up, this is episode 64. You can now watch this show on Crunchyroll, Daisuki.net, and according to where you live, AnimeLab.com. So definitely go check those services out. They're going to start streaming all the episodes very soon. They're adding them weekly by 10. So they added about 10 episodes for the new Future Trunks arc, or the Goku Black arc. They added, I believe, pretty much the whole arc on there so far, and it's also going to be simulcasted as the episodes get released in Japan. And they're also adding in older episodes from the past to stream on there as well. So eventually, we'll have a full library of all the Dragon Ball Super episodes, and that's going to be really cool. So if you have not yet watched that, I would definitely recommend it. Though, if you've watched Dragon Ball Z Battle of Gods and Dragon Ball Z Resurrection F, you don't really have to watch the first two arcs. Maybe some filler episodes because some of them are pretty fun, but I would just go to the third arc, I guess, the Universal Tournament. And if you want to just be caught up with what's happening right now, I would start with episode 47 of Dragon Ball Super. So now let's get on with the newest episode, Dragon Ball Also, as of this recording, something was just released this morning that a data miner known as Sergio, I'll leave his channel link in the description below, he data mined into the PC version of Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 and revealed some DLC Pack 1 contents, some character codes for the already revealed Frost and Kabe, and those have, like, for example, for Kabe, it's CAB. So the third character is HIK. Now, a lot of people are speculating this is Hachiak, I believe is how you pronounce it. I'm not too familiar with the character. I only know him from the mobile app Dokkan Battle, from the Hero Extermination Plan story event that happened. I'm not exactly even sure what movie he's from, but I know he's a movie character, and a lot of people are flipping out because they really, really want him and are saying he's like the only movie character. Yeah, it's not like BoJack or Android 16 exists, but that's besides the point. The point is, a lot of people are speculating about that, and the fact that Goku is getting a new transformation slash variation. So if you guys have any different theories about the Hachiak thing, leave it in the comments. And I'm pretty darn sure that this is gonna be Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken Goku. I mean, it's pretty obvious. But if they pull a fast one, maybe add in false Super Saiyan from the Lord Slug movie. Considering this is, Xenoverse 2 has a lot to do with the movies. I mean, it could happen. So whatever you guys think, make sure to leave it in the comments section below. Speculate all you want. I will be open to any of your theories and stuff. So, without further ado, let's get into the Dragon Ball Super Episode 64 review. Now, to get on with the Dragon Ball Super Episode 64 review, I just want to quickly go over everything that happened in the episode, and then I will discuss it with a very special guest on my channel. But before I get into that, I'm going to quickly go over what happened in Episode 64. So basically, it starts off where it just left off with Vegeta Super Saiyan Blue versus Goku Black and Super Saiyan Rose. Vegeta's wrecking face, and then eventually, after he's, finished for a quick second pummeling Goku Black into the ground, Goku Black gets all self confident and starts having this long speech about how great he is, but then he is greeted with a giant yellow ki blast to the face, and that was actually pretty awesome. So after a while, it's shown that Goku Black keeps talking as he usually does. He has like a little speech about how anger fuels his strength, and he eventually creates a scythe out of his ki. Like he's had ki swords and blades, but now he's made a giant scythe. He attacks Vegeta with it, and he rips what is an unknown portal. Now there's a lot of speculation going on, but it's unknown at this point. It could be a look into the future. It could be a look into the past. It could be an alternate dimension, a different timeline. Just the endless rift of his anger. I have no clue, but that is shown, and so um, eventually Goku shows up and is there, and they're all surrounded by a bunch of fake Goku Blacks, and there are quite a few of them, and they keep growing and they attack them, but Goku Black reveals that Zamasu is now headed to the location of Mai, Bulma, and Trunks. So they are in a panic for a second, and Vegeta tells Goku to use instant transmission, but his key sensing abilities are completely just jacked up right now because of this the portal, the anger rift. I have no clue what it is. So he can't exactly instant transmission yet. So they try to fight off all these fake Goku Blacks that are just made out of air, pretty much. So Zamasu approaches, and he is getting closer and closer, and everyone's not exactly sure what to do. So in Bulma's little base where she's trying to repair the time portal, uh, Trunks is trying to master the Mafuba, but he has no clue how to do this. And this leads up to one of the best scenes in the episode, the evil containment wave scene where he's just trying whatever he has no clue what the pose is because he's never used this, he's never seen it. So he just does this weird thumbs up pose, then he tries the Great Saiyaman pose. Then he tries the Ginyu special pose, and nothing is working. And then Piccolo was recorded by Bulma and demonstrates. So now he knows how to do it. Now Zamasu's very close at this point, and so Bulma goes outside to distract. Trunks is very worried, but he has to try and learn this Mafuba, the evil containment wave. So while Zamasu finally gets to their location, Bulma decides to just full on flirt with Zamasu because obviously that's going to work. She is like poking him and just asking him different questions about how if she's going to be a goddess if they, get together and have a relationship and this and that and him being her god husband and all this madness, and it's just so weird, but Zamasu is not having any of it, and he eventually grabs her by the coat collar and just tosses her to the side, and it's just an epic fail, but it is enough of a diversion for Mai and Trunks to get out there, and Trunks in a very epic scene and a very well animated and probably the best most epic scene of this episode. He does the evil containment wave, which I did not think was going to happen. But he does, and he is successful, and he throws him into the jar as Roshi did originally to Piccolo, or excuse me, Master Mutaito did to the Demon King Piccolo. So it was pretty awesome. They nailed it. How modernized it looked. The green swirls and everything looked great, and so he was put in there. But unfortunately, Goku being Goku, he left the seal at Roshi's house. So they're trying, everyone, Bulma, Mai, and Trunks are trying to contain him in the jar, but that's not working. And so he bursts out, and he is, as he was when the Mafuba was used on him, he is terrified. He is shook. This man is like legitimately, he has lost like a lot of like confidence that he had in himself. He had completely he now knows he underestimated the mortals. So um Zamasu is breaks free, and eventually, after Goku and Vegeta are done taking care of these fake Goku Blacks, everyone meets up to what seems to be this, this last stand, this final act of this, this giant battle, this war that's been going on for the past few episodes, and um, the last scene is as I thought it would be. I didn't expect much to happen with this, but we'd already known from the last preview and this episode title that Zamasu and Goku Black were going to fuse, and they end up doing so after a long speech about how they had underestimated the mortals and how they were going to use their, their big tactic. So they do so. Zamasu switches his earring to his other ear, and they fuse and become merged Zamasu. I am pretty particularly fond of the character design. It's Zamasu with the full head of hair, like Super Saiyan hair, and he has his outfit, but in Goku Black colors with some red striping and mostly just black and gray. And that's pretty much how the episode ends off there. The preview, that doesn't seem to show a whole lot. It does look pretty awesome. Looks like we're going to get lots of action in that. At the very end, you do see Goku's face very close up with a blue sort of lighting effect on his face. And he's going to charge up a Kamehameha, apparently. And you just see a lot of destruction and just a lot of action going on. So no other fusions yet. Nothing, not like we see like, Vegito, for example, or nothing like that, but we do see a lot of action. So particularly, in my opinion, this episode was a little bit bland on the action aspect of it, only because the big thing was merge Zamasu, and he showed up at the end, and that's cool. It was a good episode. It did have some funny things about it. It had the really epic Mafuba Trunks scene, but other than that, it was an okay episode. It wasn't as good as the last episode, but I did enjoy it like most episodes. So now for the final part of the video, I wanted to have some discussion about this episode, and with me is a great friend of mine, hopefully will have his own YouTube channel soon. He actually helped me create the first video that I posted on this channel, and that is DanZoroark. Say hello, sir.
Hi, YouTube.
Yes, hopefully he will have his own channel. He's working out some technical difficulties, so when he does create his channel and when that happens, I will definitely support him and everything. So, let's get into some discussion. So, overall with this episode, what did you think of it? What were your overall opinions on the whole
I
episode?
I really thought it was more of an episode to explain things that's going to happen in the next episode. Something in the next episode is going to be one of the best in the Future Trunks arc in Dragon Ball Super.
Yeah, I agree. It seems more like a prelude to the next episode. Um, what'd you think of, Trunks using the Mafuba for the first time?
That was some amazing editing. I will have to say that was some animation gold.
Yes, it was. The
That was
dialogue
also
too.
really shocking.
Yeah, the
It
dialogue was really good too.
Mhm.
Really well choreographed everything. And Zamasu's reaction, I've never
Yeah, he
seen
was shocked.
I've never seen Zamasu like that. No one ever has. It's crazy. It must suck to be put into a jar like that.
It must
Using
feel
the.
like jelly.
It must be really weird. Yeah, and you're even green too. So when you
You
get
eat
into
him.
that, yeah, it's really just it must suck.
He's the same color as your green screen.
Oh gosh. Um,
Masu, why are you hiding?
but anyway, what are your thoughts on the Goku Black's scythe and him ripping like a hole or a portal in time space?
I think that the fact that he has a scythe that can do that is scary.
Yeah, it puts
I
him.
think that puts him at such a high level. That puts him probably this fight's probably going to be harder than it was against Goku versus Frieza in his base form. It'll probably be harder for Goku than that.
Or any other battle, man. I think this is just gonna be insane. And that was just Goku Black. Now he's merged with Zamasu, who's an immortal. I don't know how this is gonna work out. If they're going to be immortal now, or if they're not. You
Or
know,
if they're like half immortal where they regenerate really quickly.
I'm not 100% sure how the effects of the fusion are gonna work out. Um,
Oh
it
man, imagine if they regenerated quickly.
that would
Because
be really
of
scary.
the Saiyan cells,
True enough,
they'd be
yes.
like Cell.
It's crazy how powerful those two are, and now they're fused. It's just
Something
insane.
I want to point out. So, Black Goku was in his Super Saiyan Rose form when they fused. So now they have white pointy up hair. So is this like Super Saiyan White? Is that a thing?
I'm not 100% sure. I don't know.
Put
I
what you
wouldn't.
guys think in the comments. I really want to see what you guys have to say.
I'm not 100% sure. I personally would doubt it, but it could be a possibility. I think it's just them fusing and Zamasu's hair combining with his, and it's just being white. But I have no clue. So yeah, it was a pretty good episode. It could have been better, but it is a prelude to what's gonna happen next episode. So yeah, we'll definitely have to see what happens. Anyway, I wanted to thank DanZoroark for joining me
You are
today,
very welcome.
and we should be doing this every week now. Some
We'll
news
try
roundups.
our best, but we have other things we have to do with homework and
I will definitely post this every week. Unfortunately, sometimes Dan
I won't
Zorark
be able to join him every single time
for
because
discussion, but I will
homework
always
and
review it and give you guys some news roundups for the week that goes by leading up to when I post these videos. Anyway, I wanted to thank you guys for watching. If you like this, make sure to leave a like down below and any comments, rate the video, and just leave your overall feedback on what you think of the new types of videos that I'm going to be posting. Thank you again, DanZoroark, for joining
you're
me,
welcome.
and we will see you guys.